here in Europe ahead of new economic growth figures.
Yeah, nowhere more so in France, with governments worried about what the Europe-wide and later French growth figures will be revealing when they come out later this morning. The French government will get them from the French National Statistics Office in just over an hour's time. This will be growth figures for the 3 months from April to June. In the first 3 months of 2014, growth was at zero. The government's set a target of 1% for this year, but without a strong performance in that second quarter, the target won't be met. Now, already the signs aren't looking very positive. Inflation was just 0.5% year on year in July, and prices actually fell by 0.3% between June and July. That could have a knock-on effect for economic growth. Well, while they're waiting for bad news here in Paris, things are looking up in Madrid. Unemployment in Spain is finally falling after 7 years of rises, and economic growth is expected to be on the way up too. Luke Brown has more.
More than just a ray of sunshine for the Spanish economy. The last quarter finally seeing a fall in unemployment after 7 years of increases. There are 280,000 fewer job seekers than a year ago. This industrial bakery is part of the success. It's hired 12 new workers over the past year. For many, it's the end of a long period of job insecurity.
I hope I'll be able to stay a long time in this company. I've been here a month and a half, and I like the work here.
Their hopes for a long-term contract boosted by the company's sales, up 14%, the first increase since 2008. And for the factory boss, hiring is facilitated by the economic strife as wages remain low, about €1,000 a month for newcomers.
The salaries in the company haven't risen in 3 years, but they haven't fallen. That's because of the economic crisis. Our sales haven't reached their pre-crisis levels.
The optimism is only slowly trickling down. Unemployment has only just fallen below 25% for the first time in 2 years, and domestic growth is still feeble, meaning the export market is key to Spain's hopes of recovery. 90% of the turnover for this swimming pool construction company comes from abroad.
Our orders have increased 30% over the past year. It's been a long time since we've seen that in Spain.
The impact of that turnaround already being felt here. This company hiring 6 additional employees since the start of the year and expects to recruit 4 more by December.
Let's take a look at the markets next. And first to Wall Street, where shares finished higher on Wednesday, helped by gains in the biotechnology sector. The department store Macy's had a rough day, though, its shares falling over 5% after it cut its sales forecast for the year. The biggest gains, though, seen on the Nasdaq, as you can see, up over 1%. Over in Asia today, the general string of bad economic data generally helping shares. You can see the Nikkei there up 0.7%. Investors said to be expecting more stimulus as signs that countries like Japan and the US still have weakness in their economy. Chinese shares just dipping into the red there.
OK, Stephen, China next, and troubles for car maker Audi.
According to reports in the Chinese media, the company's been fined $40 million for anti-competitive practices. This is part of an ongoing investigation into alleged price fixing that's reportedly implicated 1,000 firms in the auto industry in China. The authorities there had already announced that they would punish Audi for breaking the country's anti-monopoly laws without giving details of exactly how they'd done that. Audi admitted that its sales arm in Hubei province had broken the rules.
OK, time for a few more business headlines, starting with Mexican oil giant Pemex.
The company's to retain rights to more than 80% of Mexico's proven oil reserves as the government begins reforms of the energy sector. It's part of efforts to end Pemex's monopoly and open up the sector to foreign investment. The energy minister says the firm was given all of the proven reserves it had requested, amounting to more than 20 billion barrels of oil. The technology firm Cisco is to cut up to 6,000 jobs, or 8% of its workforce. The announcement came after the company, which makes network equipment and software, reported a 1% fall in profit in the second quarter to $2.25 billion. This fresh round of cuts brings to 18,000 the number of jobs lost at Cisco in the past 3 years. And profits of the world's largest computer maker Lenovo rose by 23% between April and June. The Chinese firm says sales of its mobile devices rose by almost a third over the period, reflecting its investment in smartphones and tablets. Its PC business also saw gains, with shipments rising 15% over the past year.
Finally, a novel idea from a German company on out-of-office email messages.
Yeah, it's that time of the year where you get a lot of out-of-office replies when you send emails to people. Daimler's response, though, is just to delete them all. They've offered their workers the option to send their mailboxes on holidays with them. So people who send emails to Daimler employees who've chosen to do this will get a message back saying that their recipient is on holidays, so they won't get the email and they should send it instead to somebody else. The idea is to have workers come back from their holidays with an empty inbox, avoiding that sort of dread a lot of people have when they do come back. Daimler says workers should start back after the holidays with a clean desk and that it's an emotional relief for them. Don't know, would you be relieved if you came back with no emails?
It's an interesting idea. I quite like the idea of having no bosses contacting me. Thanks very much, Stephen. Time now for Focus. We're going to go to West Africa, where the Ebola virus has killed more than 1,000 people across 4 countries.